Hello and welcome to the program. I am Amarachi Ubani, and the key number in Diplomatic Channel this week is 20. And in a few minutes, you'll know why. Let's begin in South Africa, marking 20 years since its first multiracial elections and 20 years of democratic rule. And if you remember the history of the country, you'll know the presidential elections 20 years ago was a turning point for the country. For the first time, black and white South Africans decided on their political future. For a country that had been burdened by years and years of apartheid rule, they indeed have reasons to celebrate. April 27 has been a national holiday in South Africa since 1994. It was on this day that thousands took to the polling stations in the nation's first all-race elections. The election that brought Nelson Mandela, the man South Africans adore as one who freed them from white domination, into political office as president.
So help me God.
But he was not just president of a country, he was president of a modern South Africa, one that was full of hope and reconciliation and equality despite its past. The election also ushered in 2 consecutive decades of rule by the African National Congress. At a commemoration of the event in the Union Buildings in Pretoria, President Jacob Zuma spoke about the nostalgia of the day, but urged the country to look ahead in continuing democratic rule.
On the 7th of May, let us go out in our millions to vote and celebrate our hard-won freedom and democracy. Let us vote to consolidate democracy and all the achievements of our young nation.
Sunday's celebrations were special in that they were the first Freedom Day since the passing of former President Nelson Mandela in December last year at the age of 95.
There's so many people that are unaware or don't want to listen or don't want to understand or believe in the history that we've got. But we've got an amazing history. We've got a very rich, a very colorful history full of amazing people that have done incredible things for this country.
The 20 years of democracy, which has never come very easy. It has come because many people have died. That is why we are here. I was here when we celebrated the 10 years of freedom. Again, I'm here to celebrate the 20 years of freedom and democracy.
But the celebrations were not restricted to South Africa alone. In Lagos, Nigeria, the South African community invited friends, business partners and members of the diplomatic corps to celebrate the event at the Emmanuel Chapel Methodist Church. A Thanksgiving service characterized by prayers for a nation still growing its democracy.
Just one day you intervened.
And songs of praise for 20 years of uninterrupted democracy. But the message must not be lost. A sermon delivered by South African civil servant, writer and cleric Frank Chikane points those present in the direction they should be headed.
I have to say that we are still very far from achieving that ideal type of world signified by that memorable happening in South Africa 20 years ago. South Africa itself is struggling to achieve what its freedom signified against the odds of a geopolitical world built on the foundations of self-interest and sectarian interest.
It's a great deal of honor for South Africans today to be honored like this by the Nigerians. The Nigerians, of course, played a big role in our freedom, and it is not by accident that this service was held here at the Methodist Church. Our freedom is freedom for humanity too, and that is why it is so significant.
We should look at, the rainbow nature of the South African nation, and the fact that people that were bitter enemies in a period of less than 20 years are, true brothers and sisters. So what I think we need to look at it very, very seriously in the country is the need for us to come together as brothers.
South Africa, like most other countries in Africa, has not reached full development status, but the governments can point to real successes, such as a fast-growing black middle class and the laying of the foundations of a welfare state with 16 million poor people, which is about a third of the population, now receiving monthly income grants.